Hey everyone, it's me, Julian, still wearing the same thing because we are here catching up with some book reviews. Today we're going to be looking at a book called The Forgetting, or just Forgetting, which is sort of a dystopian young adult in the vein, kind of The Hunger Games. Kind of. Okay, it is The Forgetting, and we are going to use my laptop Candy here to read the synopsis. Nadia lives in the city of Canaan, where life is safe and structured, hemmed in by white stone walls and no memory of what came before. But every 12 years, the city descends into the bloody chaos of the forgetting, a day of no remorse, when each person's memories of parents, children, love, life, and self are lost, unless they have been written. In Canaan, your book is your truth and your identity, and Nadia knows exactly who hasn't written the truth, because Nadia is the only person in Canaan who has never forgotten. But when Nadia begins to use her memories to solve the mysteries of Canaan, she discovers truths about herself and Gray, the handsome glassblower, that will change her world forever. As the anarchy of the forgetting approaches, Nadia and Gray must stop an unseen enemy that threatens both their city and their own existence, before the people forget the truth, and before Gray can forget her. Hey guys, this is the world's fastest reminder that you can support me on Patreon and see all kinds of exclusive videos like these ones. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. So that premise grabbed me. I was intrigued. But the book kind of went downhill from there. This book definitely started out with a Hunger Games-y feel. The main character is going over the wall, over a barrier, to check out the outside world. She is not supposed to do that. She gets back to her distant mother and her adorable baby sister, although she does have a bitchy older sister as well. But it felt very Hunger Games-y. Now, while the premise is intriguing, the logistics of this world are confusing. You will definitely have more fun with this book if you don't think too hard about how this world works. The people in this world are able to retain at least some kind of, muscle memory, at least, of the jobs that they had before. Otherwise, they would never be able to survive, because if you have to relearn mastery of something every 12 years, and there's no one to teach you, how are you supposed to do it? There'd be no point in people apprenticing with, say, a glassblower if it didn't matter, because in 12 years you'd forget the whole thing anyway. You also remember things like how to feed yourself, how to use the toilet, but you forget more surface memories like what's your name, who's your family, that kind of thing. I am curious though, do you remember writing, spelling, math? Clearly you remember how to read so you can read your book. There's really no rules about what you forget and what you remember in this world. I will say, without the memory loss thing though, this would be a pretty bland dystopian, so that's gotta be the main gimmick. The main character is kind of hilarious because she believes that she is stealthy as fuck, but every time she tries to stealth, she is always caught, and I just find that hilarious. She has, of course, a romantic interest in a boy called Gray, who is the glassblower's son, which she constantly calls him. He has a name, but every time in the book she's like, the glassblower's son, the glassblower's son. Like, what a pain to write that out all the time, too, for the author. His name is Gray. Do not come to this book for world building. The world building is non-existent. People in this world are artisans and farmers and bakers and that kind of thing, but there doesn't seem to be any money, but people can still commission things, so is there a barter system? Their economy is completely unclear. Although they do tend to get a bit lawless before the forgetting, because what does it matter if you steal or hurt people, because they're going to forget about it very shortly. Okay, we are going to talk spoilers on this one, because when I find a book that I feel isn't very good, I don't mind spoiling it, and things get bonkers. So, if you don't want spoilers, I'm afraid it's a no man's land beyond this point. The twist in this book, well, one of them, was wild. In this world, there's a weird day-night cycle with very long days and then very long nights and that kind of thing, and I was like, okay, well maybe we're in a dystopian climate change version of Alaska. That would be interesting. But no, my friends, it gets way more bonkers. It turns out that they are an Earth colony that is on another planet. Okay. At first I thought it was the moon, but then it turned out not to be the moon, but wouldn't have that been a bonkers twist? And the thing that makes them forget is every so often, every 12 years, a comet comes by Okay, I thought maybe it was just the comet, but no. The comet triggers a tree, an alien tree, to release spores that make everybody forget everything. What is this bullshit? It's just so bonkers, and sometimes I am just on board for bonkers, which is why I kept reading, but I was like, what the fuck? So yes, we find out that they are an Earth colony that came here for reasons I don't remember, but for some other reason also, all of the colonists learned to speak English. Specifically mentioned in here that they all learned to speak English, because of course they did. And we learn that the romantic interest was sent to spy on our main character, who's too clever by half. She's on to things. But then of course he falls in love with her, and he admits it to her, and she's mad at him for approximately 10 seconds. So the main character is supposed to have the character trait of being shy and withdrawn, but that really doesn't come across in the way that she behaves. It really feels more to me like the author didn't want to have to write her any friends, only romantic interests. She never actually seems to have any struggles communicating. Okay, and the planet that they are on, this alien planet, is apparently also rich in unobtainium. That's not the actual mineral, but it might as well be. It's unobtainium. And they cannot find out, like the people in charge are okay with the forgetting, because if the people find out that the planet is full of unobtainium, they will return to their evil capitalist ways. Eventually we find our main villain, and they have a giant villain monologue explaining everything to our main character. And is it possible to have a dystopian book without a villain monologue? Does that exist? And the ending, I will say, is action-packed, a mile a minute, bonkers, the kind of bonkers that I enjoy. Doesn't slow down, it just go, 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 breakneck pace, and that kept me reading till the very end. But then, of course, forgetting does happen, and oh no, the main boy, his memory has been wiped. But our main character plants a non-consensual kiss on this mind-wiped boy, and he likes it because, of course, he does. But of course, this leaves a lot open for the second book, which I will not be reading. If you just want to turn off your brain and you're in the mood for a dystopian, but you really don't want to have to think about it, you're not really feeling world building or anything like that, maybe give this one a try. But if you are looking for a dystopian that's got a bit more going on, pass. Hard pass on this bad boy. Those were my thoughts on The Forgetting. Have any of you read it? I kind of feel like no, but if you have, please feel free to tell me your thoughts or point me towards your Goodreads review. If you liked what you saw here and you want to see more, I have tons of videos on this channel, or if you want new stuff, I post new videos Mondays and Fridays. Or if that isn't enough, you can head over to my Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive videos that are not seen here on the regular channel. You've got plenty to watch around here, trust me. All the links to my social media are in the doobly-doo for ease of your clicking, and I and Nigel will see you again next time with whatever it is we happen to be doing next time. Bye! Hello, new month, new patrons. Who have we got on our patron list this month? We have Lennox, Adrienne, Amanda, Irene, Jenny, Jesper, Kim, Lisa, Ryakio, Sabby Panda, Savvy, and Scribbling Cat. I'm sure I mispronounced at least one of those names. If you would like to have your name professionally mispronounced, then you can join my amazing patrons over on Patreon.